Autotelic personality, flow state, they're related concepts. Csikszentmihalyi was the researcher, psychologist, Hungarian fella, spent a lot of time in the States, who made these terms popular in his work from the 1990s. If you haven't got the book, Flow, get your hands on it. Subsequent book, I'm not sure it was the second one, maybe it was. It's called Creativity, the Science and the Art of the Science of Psychology of Innovation and something or other. Anyway, they're good books. You should get your hands on them. That's what I'm talking about here today. This is day 26 of 30 days of mental skills. And we're on the final component, which is the ninth, of attention and focus. And when we manage to cultivate the ability to switch on our attention and focus, flow state is what comes about. When we do that on a consistent basis, we may find that, as far as Csikszentmihalyi was concerned anyway, our personality may begin to shift towards what he referred to as autotelic personality. Autotelic being a combination of two words, auto meaning that which is self-generating, like automatic, and from the Greek word telos meaning self. So the self becomes automatic. And to explain these terms a little bit further, autotelic personality is found in the dog is banging on the door. Hang on a minute. Okay, I'm back. Got rid of the dog. She's not dead. I just put her outside. All right, autotelic personality. It's an aspect of personality that is found in people who do things for the sake of them, who engage in work and play. In fact, become one. There's no difference between the two. It's found in people who insist on following their curiosity and doing things that they're interested in purely for their own sake. So you're not necessarily doing it for a reward. You're not doing it for a wage. Certainly not. You're not doing it for the medals, the prizes, the accolades, the applause, the adoration. All of that is not even in the picture. Those who are most creative, according to Csikszentmihalyi, engage in the work for its own sake. It's Aristotelian in its orientation. Aristotle referred to eudaimonia as opposed to hedonism. Eudaimonia meaning flourishing in modern terms. So those who flourish engage in work for its own sake. The work is not necessarily easy. It can be difficult and challenging, but it's worth it. And it's worth it for the thrill of just simply being engaged in it. And this has been found in self-determination theory and the studies of the wide extent and broad extent of self-determination theory research into flourishing well-being. Martin Seligman has written about it. Ryan and DC, Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, when he wrote about autotelic personality. So okay. So you get talking about personality. You can say, well, what is personality? And the whole kind of idea of being able to identify who and what you are through, the scientific method. I'm not going to get into that. Let's just assume that we can say something about this thing that we are. There are certain behaviors that we can notice and we can document them and we can find a pattern in it. And we can say, well, that's what he is or that's what she is in terms of personality, right? So autotelic personality is found in people who find meaning and purpose and value in the doing of things for their own sake. Washing dishes, sweeping the floor, ironing clothes, building a house, plumbing in a toilet, gardening, building a business, playing sport, doesn't matter. And those who possess autotelic personality can hit that flow state more often and in more things than most people. That kind of captures it in large part. So what is flow state? Well, there are 9 aspects according to Csikszentmihalyi and others who have done research in this area. And I'm going to go through them for you now. 9 aspects of flow. The first one is that clear goals exist. So there's no ambiguity. There's no question as to why you're here and what you're doing. Flow state can be found in simple everyday tasks like the work that you do, like gardening, right? I mentioned this already, washing dishes, peeling spuds. The goal is to get the skin off the potatoes, get them chopped up to the correct size, the optimal size, and get them in the pot of water and boil them up for the dinner. That's the goal, right? Or a sub goal of making the dinner. So it doesn't have to be exceptional, elite performance, right? It can be everyday tasks. So the goal is clear. Why am I here? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? There's no question. The second component is that there's constant feedback. So the activity in and of itself provides feedback. So you're on the pitch and you're dribbling a football, or you're playing hurling, or you're playing American football or basketball. The very action of throwing the ball and how the feeling of how it leaves your hands and its flight through the air, all of these moments as the ball heads towards the basket provide you with feedback on what you've been doing. Now, right, I froze up there for a second, but I think I'm back. All right, hopefully I'm back. So the activity in the behavior provides feedback in every single moment, constant feedback. The third component is that there's a balance between your skill set and the demands of the task. A balance, but that doesn't mean that you're not challenged in it. You are challenged, but your capacity, your ability, what you have learned is up to speed. All right. So you'll find in maybe tasks that you're quite proficient in that don't test you anymore. There's a certain boredom in that, in that it's not stimulating enough anymore. Very few people enjoy doing work that doesn't challenge them in some way, that demands them to consider alternative solutions. So that's even bordering on depression when you're not challenged, right? Boredom and depression creep in where you're not challenged. Again, Aristotle suggested that the real thrill and meaning of life is in the engagement in meaningful, challenging tasks. So we're talking about the same thing. In flow state, your skills and abilities meet the challenge head on, and you're equal to it, but you're tested. Number 4 is that action and awareness merge. So there's no time for deliberation. There's no sitting back and wondering about what is the next appropriate course of action. You simply do it. There's no thought. It's bang. And you're just in it and of it. And the moment and you and the whole task is just one. There's no consideration for how you might achieve the result. It's just done. No thought. It's gone. And that leads to, or is associated with, a lack of self-consciousness. So you're not concerned for yourself. It's like your whole idea of yourself disappears. If you've ever been engaged in something, I get a sense of it when I go working out in the gym or whatever. And you drive yourself so hard in the physical activity that there's no room for thinking, oh, this is difficult. It's just you're gasping for breath and your whole sense of self disappears. When you draw, perhaps you find that, or when you write, you immerse yourself in a story, or you're making something, there's no you anymore. You disappear, whatever you are, and something else kicks in, something else takes over. Number 6 is there's no concern for failure. So again, there's no thinking. There's no, I wonder if this is the right thing I should be doing. I hope I don't fail. I hope I do the right thing. If that's where you are and you're involved in sport, for example, or you have to give an important presentation or some other demanding task, forget about it. You're going to hit the wall. You're not tuned in. You're not in the game, so to speak. You're all caught up in your head. And so in flow state, there's no concern for failure. It's just boom, you're in it and you are of it, whatever that activity happens to be. There's no distraction. So whatever's going on over there on the sideline, whatever's going on over there with that person, it's irrelevant. It's not even getting to your awareness. You don't even notice it. You're completely insulated to outside influences and immersed in the activity. Number 8, there's a feeling of timelessness or distorted time. Time speeds up, it might even slow down, might not exist at all. And only after the fact, when you look at it and you go, wow, Jesus, where's the time gone? I was completely lost in it. When you're at play, you can sometimes find that. Stuart Brown, psychotherapist, I believe he was a psychotherapist, established the Institute of Play in the United States, talks about this sensation as well of timelessness when you're engaged in something that completely absorbs your whole being. There's no, ooh, I hope I look good in doing this, you know. There's no sense of time. There's no sense of self. It's just you and the thing are one. And finally, number 9, when you do this on a consistent basis over time, Csikszentmihalyi suggests that your personality develops this autotelic feature, whereby it doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter what the task, you can switch on and tune into it and become lost in it. Now, I accept that there may be some preferences on your part and my part, and that maybe hitting flow state doing a spreadsheet is not something that you'll manage to achieve. I know I wouldn't. I really dislike working with spreadsheets. Well, I can get stuck into them and that sort of stuff, but it's not where I want to be. I love to research and I love to write and I love to explore topics, and you know, I like to do the things I like to do, and it's the same for you. And when you're engaged in those things and you focus your time and your energy on those things, you're more inclined to develop this aspect of autotelic personality and hit flow state. So in that, there's merit in the message, do what you love, you know, and you'll never work a day in your life. I mean, I think it has true foundations, right? It's not nonsense. But in the modern way of living and working, I think we've convinced ourselves somehow, maybe it's the influence of religion, that work has to be a toil and we have to earn our living. We have to almost earn the right to live, to have a comfortable life with a roof over our head and clothes on our back and food in our belly. You know, surely we don't have to work for that. Why should we have to work for those things? But in the society we live in, it's all predicated, our existence and our health and our well-being is predicated on or inextricably linked to our ability to produce for the marketplace, right? We're not talking about that here. We're not talking about proving your worth. The sense of worth and value is in the actual doing of the thing itself. And I think if we can become brave enough to embrace that idea, well, then maybe we'll find what it is that turns us on, switches us on, makes life worth living, like makes it meaningful and have purpose. There's too many people at odds with their work. I've found that. I still find it. People tell me all the time. So there's a better way, and the better way is finding that thing you love to do and finding a way to make a few quid at it. You don't need a whole lot. But I think if you can find something, and I'm kind of relating to something that Alan Watts said many years ago in one of the recordings that I have, is that if you can find something that you love to do and do that, well, then you'll discover other people that love it too, and you can make a good living at it. So that's the challenge. It's not necessarily easy, but I know it exists. In the article below, I've got a questionnaire, the APQ, Autotelic Personality Questionnaire. You can take it. There are a number of items in that measure, 26 items, and you can test yourself for persistence, self-centeredness, attentional control, enjoyment, transformation of boredom and other aspects of autotelic personality. See where you are on the scale. It's a free download. Click on the button, enter your email address, and I'll send it to you. finally, to finish up, I've discussed the two ideas to sufficient extent, but the 4 dimensions of autotelic personality: you pursue intrinsic goals for your own inherent curiosity and interest. You are likely to provide unwavering attention towards those things. You block out distractions and you can find enjoyment in that process. Your work and your play merge. There's no difference between the two. That's autotelic personality and flow state. It's a worthwhile pursuit. And when you engage in the development of mental skills, these 9 mental skills, well, then perhaps you can bring this about. It's not hocus pocus. It's science, and it's been shown to be true in most cases for the people who are studied. Okay, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching wherever you're getting this audio. Check it out on Substack. There's always an article and references, right? So I'm not pulling this out of the sky. I'm always referring it back to legitimate research sources. So do check them out. Subscribe on YouTube or wherever you're watching this, and see you for the next one. Session 27 in 30 days of mental skills. All right, that's all I've got. See you next time.